Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make the part C in here in our Inventor corner bracket training. And I'm going to do it hopefully using only 2 extrusions. I know there looks like a lot of complicated parts here. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. But if I do this correctly, I should be able to hopefully do this in only 2 extrusions. And notice that my dimensions are in centimeters, so I'm going to do a little bit of conversions on the fly. I'm going to open up Inventor, hit New, click to Metric, and Standard Millimeter. Alright, once I'm in there, click on Start New Sketch, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sketch this piece right here in the front. What I notice is I'm actually going to take this side right here and extrude backwards. What I find out is that this really looks like just a square with a triangle attached on top. And so let's do that. I'm going to draw my overall shape. And it's not going to be super pretty, but we should be able to get some things figured out here quickly. My dimensions of this back part of the shape is 4.5 centimeters. So in Inventor, I'm going to type that as 45 millimeters. And I know the front side is 3 centimeters, so I'm going to dimension that as 30 millimeters. My bottom edge looks like 2.5 centimeters across, so I'm going to type that in as 25 millimeters. And then once I got those 3 sides, this last side automatically gets finished. I'm going to click Finish Sketch, and then Extrude. Now the extrusion depth here is 1.5 centimeters, so my extrusion is going to be 15 millimeters. And now I've got that first part right there. Now what I'm going to do is clean up a little bit and organize it so we can see that this piece right here looks a little bit like this piece right here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate to this back side of this piece and start my sketch on that face. Reason being is that since these 2 pieces butt up to each other, I can start on this sketch face, makes this overall shape, and then just extrude backwards. So let's go ahead and do that. Now that shape that it makes is very similar to what we made before, except it's going to have a flat top at the part. Now it is taller, so I'm going to go to a taller height. It's going to go down at some angle, all the way down to 0, and back to where we started. Hit right click and OK. Now before I can extrude this piece, I need to dimension my sides. So I'm going to hit D for dimension. And my overall height is 6 centimeters, so that's 60 millimeters. The height of the shorter end is 4 centimeters, that's 40. And up top we have 1 centimeter, so that's going to be 10. And we're going to do this bottom piece back here. My overall looks like width is 4 centimeters, so that is going to be 40 millimeters. Hit Finish Sketch, and I've got my piece overall. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and extrude this piece back, and its thickness looks like 1 centimeter, so I'm going to do 10 millimeters. Now if I did this correctly, my piece should look very similar to the piece in here, and that does look pretty well. So I'm going to save this, hit Control S. In my Inventor folder, I'm going to call this Part C. And since I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. Go to my drawing file, so hit New, MCHS IED title block, type in your name, not Mr. Williams. Alrighty, now that I have my drawing file made, I'm going to hit New, and I'm going to go to my MCHS title block, type in your name in all caps, and for project title, we're going to call this Part C. Click OK. I'm going to go find my base of my object, Click on Part C and open. Now this piece, I'm going to do the front, right, and top. And we're going to find out that actually I don't like those views. So we're going to try that again. Part C. And I'm going to rotate this just a little bit just so I can see more information. We want the least amount of hidden lines, where the front, top, and right views have no hidden lines telling most of the information, and I should be able to go from here. On top of that, I'm going to throw in my isometric view, add shading, and then call it done. Let's try that again. Okay. And move this just a little bit over, add shading, and call it done. The dimension here is going to get a little bit sketchy. So however, we're going to take it piece by piece. I'm going to talk about this front piece right here, do all of my height dimensions, and carry them to the middle. So I'm going to do a chain command. And chain allows me to chain all of my dimensions at the same time. However, we found out that my measurements come out as inches. I don't like that. So instead, let's fix that. And let's do our dimensions in millimeters. So how I'm going to do that exactly, I'm going to go to Document Settings and click on Millimeters. ANSI Millimeters. Click Apply and call that Close. Back to Annotate. Let's do this chain again, and let's try this out again. I'm going to chain all the pieces that I want to chain together. Right click and hit Continue. And we notice that my information is given pretty well. But it looks a little ugly, so we'll see if we can clean that up a little bit. Let's try that again. Sometimes I don't like how the dimensions come out, so we're going to have to do this piece by piece. Click OK. And I don't like where that's at, so I'm going to move it in just a little bit. Nope, that's not what I want to do. There we go. Sometimes really picky on that. Hit dimension, and I'm going to go from the bottom to the top piece right here. Hit OK, and dimension one more time. From the bottom to the top piece right here. Now the reason you want to go in between is because it shows this line right here is shown in both drawings, and so is this top line is here. One line that may not be shown is, I would call this corner piece right here. However, if I add another drawing, another height to it, it might muddle up the drawing. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm just going to do that over here. And what I've got is I've got my different heights for all my front pieces. It looks like it's good to go. Now, what about our widths? So let's look at our widths. Let's go from there to there. And now I don't like where that one ended up at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. Gotta find the sweet spot where it allows you to move it. There we go. And now I've got that width right there. Let's do one more. Click OK. So I've got one more width that I need to throw in there as well. Now, to help me figure that piece out, I've got all of my widths on this front piece, all of my heights. Is there any dimensions that I'm missing so far? Well, that is, I would say, this tiny little width up here as well, as long as, let's see, this thickness right here. Thickness right there is good. Heights right there is good. Height right here is explained over there. And it looks like this piece is fully dimensioned. Alrighty. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and save. Save this as part C. Take a snippet of my file. Save this. Save this in my Inventor folder as part C. And there we go. I've got my piece fully dimensioned and everything involved. Good luck. If you have any questions, let me know.